Yeah. Now, I want to ask you, because you're someone who's learned multiple languages, what is the best way to learn a new language?
Oh, so this
Yeah.
is an episode in
Because it's
itself.
something that I want to do at some point. I only know English. I tell people I have a hard enough time speaking English. I don't know if I can speak
Oh,
another language, but
I feel
I
you,
would
yeah.
love to at least learn so I can understand.
Mm. I mean, to be honest, and also I always joke that I speak four languages, but also always say I'm like bilingual, as in bilingual, because after a while you can like start mixing all the words.
Yeah.
Sometimes your brain just switches off, so that's
Yeah.
also totally normal. But to be honest, like the best tip I can think of for somebody who's starting to learn a second language is really like just just start, right? I think sometimes we're like so kind of overthinking about,
Yeah.
okay, what do I need to do? Do I start with grammar? Do I start with vocabulary? Just start with putting yourself, whether it is reading a book or whether it is starting to put like little videos on YouTube, put subtitles in that language during a movie. Anything to just starting exposing yourself will always be good. And then if you're like, okay, I want to get, let's say, more serious about it, I actually want to start communicating. I think the best way to do that is, of course, putting yourself. I mean, obviously, the main thing is as much as you can immerse yourself in that language. It's just that sometimes you physically can't be around people who speak XYZ language, right? And so finding ways to combine grammar, which now you can find in a lot of different places. You can like start learning the sounds and then the articles, right? I always, at least this is my approach grammar wise with languages, is always start with being able to build a very basic sentence and then grow from there, right? And so approaching language with that is like, okay, you have like an article, a noun, a verb, and then an adjective. Start with that. That's your basic sentence. And then you can build upon it. Um, but always combine grammar with reading, with listening, trying to speak, even if you're babbling things that feel like they make no sense. Because I think one thing that I've seen in the Italian education system, actually with English or teaching English, is concentrating only on grammar. And I feel like you can get so good at grammar, but then you have all the other fears of actually putting yourself out there speaking, which is anyway very scary because you're like, it's very vulnerable to speak another language. You're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
they're judging my accent. They're judging this, they've done this.
Especially English. English is the hardest.
It's, yeah, I mean, probably like, I mean, German is pretty hard
Is it?
grammatically.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, right. I feel like any second language can be like a hard language because it's just, in a way, you are thinking differently, right? I mean, the language reflects a lot also the way of thinking, right? And the way, in a way, you're analyzing concepts and reality. And that's how languages also have developed and have developed differently as well. And so it would always be very daunting, right? But I think like if from the start you put yourself in that uncomfortable position of like, I'm just going to say even three words. I'm just going to say like a basic sentence. Don't even know if it's right. I'm going to listen to something and kind of like, listen first with a transcription, then trying to just listen without anything, right? And just getting comfortable with even just the facial movement of that mouth, the sounds that you need to make in that language,
Yep.
listening and not being able to understand everything. Right. And so I find like doing that from the get go can really help because if you concentrate only with grammar, you may have the perfect grammar, but then you'll always be too scared to use it.
Yeah. I definitely agree. Like listening really helps. Like
Hmm.
I took Spanish, way back in like middle school, I think, and I basically lost it all now. I can count to 10 or something, but
It's
yeah,
something.
years ago there was this Spanish song in a movie I liked, and I learned that whole song
I love
because
that.
I loved the song. I didn't know what they were saying when I first heard, but then I went and looked up every like, or I looked up on YouTube like English subtitles for the song, I was like, "Huh,
That's
cool."
perfect. That's
But
exactly
yeah,
it. And maybe
mhm,
this is the way you more easily learn a language, right? Because that's the other thing I've learned, like especially working with students. I mean, again, your own journey in life is unique as much as your own learning style. And so one thing that I like to do with like newer students is also the first 30 days really challenge, like every day doing a little challenge, taking up to 5 minutes. And it's, for example, listening to a song, watching something, and that way reading, speaking, like recording yourself speaking or reading out loud, and that way you also realize a bit what works best for you. So I've had students like you where we're like, the music, the song, that was the way to go for them, right? And they really improved. And then others were more like just reading, and that was what helped them more. I really think that finding that in the first even month of learning the language can help, because especially if you're not in the country, or you don't have people around you where you can just go and speak to them, you have to immerse yourself, and the only way is by adding even 10 minutes a day of that language, like as much as you can, making it almost like a, if you're meditating, for example, every day, well, add that to that kind of routine, maybe in the morning, maybe in the evening, to keep it fresh. And
that's
so
called habit stacking.
exactly, exactly. And to be honest, like it's, even when you're more advanced, like this is at any point in time, it's good to have something. For example, for me, movies. I love to watch movies in the language. This is something that has helped me a lot with all the languages I've learned. And it's something I still do because, for example, here in North America, there's not much, going on in German
No,
or right. And I'm like, I don't
no.
want to lose the languages. And if you're not exposed to it, even Italian for that matter, sometimes it's hard to, switch the language and so on, no matter how advanced you are. So it's always good to find the method that helps you keep it fresh in your head.